I started this video over because I was distracted by a young man with a pit bull. And as I was sitting here and I was trying to see what he was doing. But back to my purpose. Today we live in a society where a lot of things are being exposed. And I would encourage anybody that if you come in contact with somebody who just don't get it, don't waste your time. Don't waste your time trying to make them get it. It is what it is. And I say that because it reminds me of when Pharaoh, when Moses first came to Pharaoh and said, let my people go, Pharaoh said, well, you don't have enough things to do. So he made the task of the people harder. He said, you're going to make me all the bricks that you normally make for free. And then you're going to go out there and you are going to get your own straw. And I don't want you to diminish not one brick. In other words, get busy. I'm going to make you work harder and give me everything that I wanted as if it was convenient for you to have those things. In other words, bake me a cake and then go out there and grind the flour, make the ingredients, and then put the cake together and then give me the same amount of cakes as if you never had. If you only had all the things that you needed. I'm just saying, I'm saying a lot, but I know what I'm saying. In other words, go get the job done. In other words, write the book and then teach from it. And make sure all the kids pass. It's anything to make life harder. And what God is doing, I believe, is that, I saw comments from different people that made me want to respond. But if I have to second guess myself and to say, should I respond? Then that means I don't need to respond. I saw things that I knew I wanted to say something because it made me angry to see that you would say such things. But God has said, no, let Pharaoh get out of him all the things that's in him. Let people say what's inside of them. They're going to say it, and then once God get it out, then he will evaluate and eradicate everything that does not line up with what he said he's going to do. You're going to let these people go. So if people want to call your names, and I see people stopping to fight these people, and I know it's going to take some strength not to do it. But let people, there's stuff got to come out. And when you type the little things behind that computer, just know somebody's shooting that stuff. You're going to screen shoot it, and you're going to have a job, and you won't have a job. So Pharaoh is just mad. So in the beginning of the deliverance, you're going to go through a period of things that's uncomfortable, but you got to stand still and let God be God. Because there is no way that these companies that's been supporting this stuff, and we didn't know it, and now that they are out, speaking out and saying that you don't need a black man. Well, you won't. You're absolutely right. Because you won't need any man if you speak these things. So those things are in your heart. Good morning, Ricardo. Those things are in your heart. And God is allowing Pharaoh to spill it out, get it out of it. It might take 10 times, but I'm going to let these people go. So we are angry at companies that are going. The company may not go out of business, but the person that leading that company, if your heart is not right, you're getting ready to get what Pharaoh got. So, and I just encourage people that when God's hand is in it, that means you need to be doing something that preparing yourself as if you are coming out. I don't care if your address is unknown, but you have one. If you say anything in your house, God will make sure that it is revealed, because when he eradicates, he's not going to leave anybody out. So get used to people being human. And when you can't see them as human, then believe you me, there is a place of separation. So let God do it. It's not, you just got to stop thinking like that. I saw it all over the world where, I saw some young ladies putting some hearts on there saying Black Lives Matters, and I saw some older women who came out and snatched the hearts down. God's going to fix that too. We did it before. When the older people who wanted to keep things the way they were, God just said, look, I'm telling you something. I told you, I'm getting ready to do a new thing. I'm going to do it with or without you. And if you think you're going to bring this old stuff into this new land, you're not going. So that's, if we get in the Word, we can see how God is going to unfold this and what is our response. My hand is not big enough to do what God's hands can do. So my hand is to just stay in the Word and watch Him do it. So I would encourage you. You may be called a name, and I was praying for my sons and to be in position to not to do anything, because the real anger of Pharaoh is going to be made known, and only and God has just said, I'm just trying to bring out everything, and people just not smart enough to know that God is in command. God is in charge. This stuff is going on for over enough time for God to say, I got this. So if somebody don't fight a already won fight. You're not in this fight. This fight has been won. This fight has been completed. The victory is already, God has moved on. And He's going to take care of Pharaoh in due time. So keep your job. If you keep your tongue, you can keep your job. But if you run your mouth, it's going to come out. And the Spirit of God will find you. So I saw a lot. I saw a girl, young white girl came up to, and she said something. I guess she just don't want to agree with it. Whatever they've been taught. And she said something that angered another lady so much so that girl walked out of that shoe store in that mall and hit that girl so hard. You don't want to do that. Just leave that alone, because it's got to come out, because it's being revealed, and it's coming out of all people. It's coming out. Hatred is going to come out, but you got to know that God said this is a done fight. I got it. So you be encouraged to know that your life matters. I don't care what color you are. Your life matters. And when we really get it, this is what we're going to really find out, that we are all brothers. But He's going to straighten this thing out. But at the end of the day, the sun made us a little more darker. But we are all brothers. If we all have the Father, and our Father is God, then we are all brothers. But your brother acting up now. And he's going, it's uncomfortable, because we've been hiding this stuff for so long, and now you're telling us we got just if I were you, I would be quiet and keep my job. So that's why it's so good to be in the current event, which is the Word of God. Just be quiet. It's going to be hard. But it's like, again, what's next? All right, we're getting into the book of Exodus chapter 19. So let's stay current in the Word of God. Chapter 19. All right, in chapter 18, we had a conversation with Moses being submitted to his father-in-law. His father-in-law told him, Moses, you sitting here talking to all these people, you got 600,000 men, not even counting children. He said, man, these folk gonna wear you out. You find you some men that tell the truth, find you some men that fear God, who tells the truth, and they hate covetousness. In other words, when they see somebody else doing something wrong, they can't stand it. And take the load off. Let some of those men be over 1,000. Let some of them be over 100. Let some of them be over 50s. Let some of them be over a smaller group, 10. Just like a classroom. Certain classroom can handle a lot of students, and then the more they need you, the smaller the class is. So Moses was told by his father, Jethro, you need some help, because these folk will wear you out. And Moses said, and he said, you see if God is confirming what I'm saying, and if He does, you do what I'm telling you, because this don't make sense. And Moses submitted to his father-in-law. And I think God, well, let's just see. Let's go to chapter 19. So that was chapter 18. In the third month, and that's 3 months, When the children of Israel were gone forth out of the land of Egypt, the same day came they into the wilderness of Sinai. The wilderness of Sinai. So they've been walking and traveling and going through and free for 3 months. And they are still in the process of going to the promised land. So in this 3rd month, this is what happened. For they were departed from Rephidim. Rephidim is when they started complaining to Moses that we don't have any water. And then Moses hit the rock and the water came forth. And right after that, they were hit with a war and won. And for they were departed from Rephidim and were come to the desert of Sinai and had pitched in the wilderness. And there Israel camped before the mount. In other words, they came to the mountain of Sinai and they had another rest stop. And Moses went up unto God, and the Lord called unto him out of the mountain, saying, Thus shalt thou say to the house of Jacob, and tell the children of Israel. The house of Jacob, that's whose house they are under, and they were called the children of Israel, which is the same person. Ye have seen what I did unto the Egyptians. You saw that. And how I bare you on eagle's wings and brought you to myself. God said, you saw what I did. This 3 months. I put you up so high so the enemy couldn't do anything to you until I flew you up like an eagle, or like you on eagle's wings. That's way up there. And I brought you to myself. You are my people. And if you're mine, I want to take care of you. Now, he said, now we're getting ready to do something different. Now, therefore, if you will obey my voice indeed, if you are serious about being my people, want to be a part of my plan, and keep my covenant, in other words, obey my voice, and then whatever I put in writing, keep the contract. Hear what I say, and then if I give you something more, even on from now on, do what I say at all times. If you hear me, obey. And if you read about me, obey. Now, therefore, if you obey my voice indeed and keep my covenant, then you shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people. He said, you're going to stick out. If you do what I say do, you're going to be above all people. People going to try to figure you out. But there would be none to compare. Nobody would be able to compare to the people that follow my instructions. For all the earth is mine. He said, if you would do what I say do, I'm going to raise you up. I will keep you. You're going to always be somebody to behold. And you shall be unto me a kingdom of priests. You're going to go, a priest was somebody that went in and out before God. They would go to God, get a word, and come back and tell the people what God said, and then go back to God and tell people how the people responded. So you will be as a priest unto me. And a holy nation. People would look at you and say, these are some holy people. Set aside. These people got something. These are the words which thou shalt speak unto the children of Israel. So God called Moses up and said, this is what I want to tell the people. If they would do what I say do, they are going to be somebody special. If they're a doctor, your practice is going to stand out. If you're a construction company, you don't have to do a lot of money advertising. Just because you did it, you're going to stand out. Everything that you touch, you're going to be set aside. You would do it in a way that it cannot be compared. When we get with God, our work will not be sloppy. Your classroom will be set apart. Your front yard will be set aside. Will be set apart. In other words, you will be a distinguished people. And all you got to do is be like me, and people will come to you. You won't have to try to say, do you want my business card? No, they're going to find you. That's what the word said. And Moses came and called the elders. He went and got the older people. And Moses came and called the elders of the people and laid before their faces all these words which the Lord commanded him. That's the beautiful thing about God, is when people are led by God, they hear from God and they only say what God says. How do you know if God said it? Well, one way you can know it is because you read it for yourself. Secondly, you will see the evidence of God's proof, because when he speaks, he backs it up and confirms it by the evidence of doing it. But the best way that I know right now to know if God said it, get the book and read it and see if you are being led by what is written. And Moses went absolutely. This has been ever since Moses been with God. Every time God would say something, Moses would go and repeat it, only what he said. And that's how you can know you can be used of God. And all the people answered together and said, all that the Lord has spoken, we will do. All the people said, whatever God has spoken, Moses will do it. And Moses returned the words of the people unto the Lord. God heard them folk, but Moses did it. Lord, you know what they said? They said they're going to do whatever you said do. And the Lord said unto Moses, lo, I come unto you in a thick cloud. He said, I'm going to tell you how I'm going to show up. And the Lord said unto Moses, lo, he said, let me tell you something, Moses. I'm going to come to you in a thick cloud, that the people may hear when I speak with you and believe you forever. And Moses told the words of the people unto the Lord. So Moses went back and forth. And God said, Moses, I'm going to meet you in a thick cloud. And go back and tell them folk what I just told you. Because I'm getting ready to let these people know that when you speak, it's me speaking. I'm calling this great big old gathering of everybody, only to let them know you are the man that I have in charge. And the Lord said unto Moses, go unto the people and sanctify them today and tomorrow, and let them wash their clothes. God said, go to the folk and tell them, I said, prepare yourself. Go get yourself clean. Go sanctify yourself. Now, somebody said that meant that they were to, you know, in our day, to put away anything that's not like God. But until I get to that point, I would just say what the word says. Go tell them folks to wash their clothes. Go wash the clothes they got on. And dry them and put them back on. But make sure they're clean. Because you getting ready to come before me. The Lord said unto Moses, go into the people and sanctify them today and tomorrow, and let them wash their clothes. And be ready against the third day. He said, be ready on the third day, Monday. Get prepared Tuesday. Get prepared Wednesday, meet me. And be ready against the third day, for the third day the Lord will come down in the sight of all people upon Mount Sinai for the first time. God is getting ready to have a big meeting with everybody. For one reason. I got one man that I want you to hear. And I'm going to back him up. And I just can't help but go over that New Testament. I got one man that I want you to hear. Hear ye him. But right now he's talking about Moses. And thou shalt set bounds unto the people round about. He said, put some boundaries here. Saying, take heed to yourselves. He said, be careful now that you go not up into the mountain. Don't touch that mountain. Or touch the borders of it. Don't even stay away. Stay, I want you to come, but you can only come so far. Whosoever, he said, let me tell you what's going to happen. Anybody touch that mountain shall be surely put to what? Death. Hear what I say, do. I got so far you can come. If you go any further than what I said, you'll be surely, God said, you got my word. I'm going to be put to death. Put to death. What does that mean to us today? That only say and do whatever God says do and live. Just as sure as you touch something that God said don't touch. There shall not a hand touch. He said, don't let your hand touch this mountain. But he shall surely be stoned or shot through. He said, I mean, you're going to be put to death, whether I have to stone you or shoot you. Whether it be beast or man, he said, I don't care if it's a dog or I don't care what it is. it shall not live. If it touches anything that don't line up with my word, it's got to die. When the trumpet sound long, when you hear that trumpet sound long, when it blows and it's telling you it's going to be a long blow, they shall come up to the mountain. And Moses went down from the mountain unto the people. Moses went up to God and then came back down to the people. Moses went back to God and then came back down to the people. And Moses went down from the mountain unto the people and sanctified the people. What did Moses do? What God said? And they washed their clothes. Moses gave instruction, y'all go wash y'all clothes. God want to see y'all day 3. And he said unto the people, be ready against the 3rd day. And then he told them, come not at your wives. Come not at wives. In other words, there would not be any sexual activity from the husband to the wives. Now, I don't know why God said that, other than your focus need to be totally in line with the word. All I know, that's what God said. I think a man knows what that means. No sexual activity, men. You know this is something serious. Maybe that's what it is. What's more serious than that? Obedience. I got some people probably said, how she telling men what the word said? Because I got 6 sons. I've never had a daughter, and I got 10 brothers. So it comes easy for me to just tell you the truth, if you're a male. And he said unto the people, be ready against the 3rd day, and come not at your wives. And it came to pass on the 3rd day in the morning, first thing in the morning, that there were thunders. God is like, I keep my word. In the morning, he says, it started thundering and lightning. Well, and it came to pass on the 3rd day in the morning that there were thunders and lightnings and a thick cloud on the mountain. Just like God said, Moses will show up in a thick cloud. And the voice of the trumpet exceeding loud. God said, it's going to be a long trumpet sound, so that all the people that was in the camp trembled. It was so loud until the people got scared. And Moses brought forth the people out of the camp to meet with God. And they stood at the lower part of the mountain. God said, now I told you, don't touch it now. And Mount Sinai was altogether on a smoke. Because the Lord, excuse me for a minute. Huh? I can't hear. I don't know what you're saying. Water? Do I have water for you? Do I have water? I'm not sure what he's saying. Oh, you need some water? They don't have water over there? Okay, yeah. All right, sorry, y'all. Now, how many times will he need that water? Just one time? Just once? Okay. All right. Sorry, y'all. And Moses brought forth the people out of the camp to meet with God, and they stood at the lower part of the mountain. If you don't mind, on that side right there, you see it? Okay. And Mount Sinai was altogether on a smoke, because the Lord descended on it in fire. And the smoke thereof ascended as the smoke of a furnace. So God did just what he said. He said, I'm coming down to you to let people know that you are, I'm getting kind of lost in what I'm saying. Anyway, God appeared as a smoke, just like he said. And Mount Sinai was altogether on a smoke, because the Lord descended upon it in fire, and the smoke thereof ascended as the smoke of a furnace, and the whole mount quaked greatly. And when the voice of the trumpet sounded long, a lot of stuff changing around here. And when the voice of the trumpet sounded long and waxed louder and louder, Moses spake, and God answered by a voice. And the Lord came down upon Mount Sinai on the top of the mount. And the Lord called Moses up to the top of the mount, and Moses went up. So God did what he said. He appeared to Moses in front of all these people, just like he said he did. And when the voice of the trumpet sounded long and waxed louder and louder, Moses spake, and God answered him by a voice. And the Lord came down upon Mount Sinai on the top of the mountain, and the Lord called Moses up to the top of the mountain, and Moses went up. God did all that just so people could understand. I want y'all to hear Moses. I care so much about you. I want y'all to hear this guy. And the Lord said unto Moses, go down, charge the people, lest they break through unto the Lord to gaze, and many of them perish. God said, Moses, go down there and tell them folks, just back off. Don't come any near. For they are curious to know. And let the priests also which come near to the Lord sanctify themselves, lest the Lord break forth upon them. God is preparing. He's getting ready to speak. He said, go down there and tell the folk to don't come near. And go down there and tell the priests. I know that they have a way of just their job that they could come before me. He said, but back off. He said, go down there and remind them what I said. And Moses said unto the Lord, the people cannot come to Mount Sinai without charges are saying, set bounds on the mountain and sanctify it. Moses said, Lord, they ain't coming. You already told them. I already told them what you said the first time. You said, don't come near. They can't come. Look at what God said. And the Lord said unto him, away, get thee down. I know thee folk. Get out, Moses. And you shall come up, you and Aaron, but let not the priests and the people break. Let not the people break through to come up unto the Lord, lest he break forth upon them. He said, if they come near that mountain, if they touch it, I haven't changed my mind. So Moses went down unto the people and spake unto them. That's chapter 19. It's been busy. The people next door were doing their job. They needed some water from my water hose. It's been busy this Saturday morning. But anyway, what God is saying, I'm setting this up for you. And let's see what God is going to say to the people. Or is it just, he just said, let them see the smoke and go home? Or is God getting ready to say anything? This movie is good. This word is good. All right, let's see what's good. Oh. Talk to y'all later.